Hi everyone, so here let's review the results for the Zoom simulation. So these are the results for year 3, and it looks like um, we have one team that earned 665 points all the way to a team, the last place team only earned 205 points in the round. So some teams doing very well, earning over 400, 6 teams earning over 400 points. Let's see. So gross profit margin, we're in the third round. Remember, this has to increase every round for your company to continue to earn points. So here we have, so this team down here, we started at 40% gross profit. So it's year 3. So any team that's sort of 44% or below, your gross profit percentages are very low for completing year 3. You should be in the 50 percentile or even 60 percentile of your gross profits moving into round 4. Stock price here is doing well. Some teams have done pretty well in the percentiles of stock price and return on earnings. If we look at total points, we're sort of halfway through, and remember, we're trying to get, I think, 2,500 points to do well in this simulation, and most teams are pretty close to that. So you're here, you have 3 more rounds to earn the rest of your points, so you're doing well. So still, everybody here who's got over 1,000 points, it's still very, very possible for you to get the full 2,500 points and get an A for this project if you keep working on it. Let's look at the charts for this round. The industry charts. Okay, so you can see year 3 that profits have been going up, and that all teams, it looks like all teams have been able to increase their profits, their net profits from year 1 to 2 to 3. So that's good as far as total profits, which makes sense because the sales are increasing greatly. And if we look at points, we could see that points are improving from year 2 to year 3, but not quite back to. I mean, year 1 you never really get close to earning that many points again in year 1, but we still have a couple teams earning over 600 points, which is really phenomenal in year 3, and we have no teams really losing any points or going negative, which is good. And our stock prices have all increased for all teams, which is good moving into this next year. We look at sales. Sales have increased. Some teams' sales have fallen off a little bit. So this is the general trend that your sales should be moving from here, say around 300,000 to about around 450, 475,000. So if you're in this bottom grouping here, you're underperforming in sales. So look at your forecast here. If we got earnings per share, we could see that this team did very well in earning back their earnings per share. And also these two teams had some issues, and they corrected them very nicely. This team has sort of fallen off on their earnings. They've come from first place into 4th place now, and these teams have all been doing well as far as earnings per share. Okay. So, remember that you must fill out your reflective observations. I get a copy of them, and I see that some teams, I'm going to be reviewing these, and if you're not filling out your reflective observations, that is cause to lose points in the simulation, so be wary of that. So I am going to be checking the reflective observations. It is part of this assignment. If you're not filling them out, you're not completing this assignment, and you could lose a certain amount of points, so be mindful of that. All right, so if I go to the demo, I left my demo off in, actually, I went to year 3, and I completed the year 4. So let's review so this is where you should be. When you log in, you should see that you've completed year 3, and you're in year 4. So here on my practice game, I'm in year 4. We can see that in year 4 here, I have done well with my profit margins, but I haven't done well with my deficit. And that must be because I have a deficit because I have these leftover unsold cars. So I need to kind of definitely review my forecasting is weak. I would need to increase my forecast. So here we see that So my profit margin went up from 56 to 59, which is good, but my operating profits only went up 1% because from 37 to 38, and my net only went up 1% from 26 to 27. So my costs and expenses have gone up faster than my profits have gone up, and it sort of hurts some of my multiples down here. And having a deficit caused me to lose 200 points. Having a negative 100 rather than I should have had 100 points. So that moved me from a score of 468 to 268 because I let a deficit, which means, be very careful of that not to carry a deficit. So moving forward, if I'm going to complete year 4, I would check my assessment page to see, what I can do, where I've done well, where I've done poorly. I would review my charts, specifically my performance chart, to see, go down to the very bottom to see that, I am probably overproducing my cars on these 3 categories, and my forecast on luxury is actually 200 cars off. So when I do my new forecast, I should factor in where my actual market potential is versus my sales. So I want to really build off my market potential, not off my sales number. So here I don't want to increase my 3,000. I want to increase from 3,200 on this, and I can see that my points have gone down because of that deficit. All right, so then I would go in the industry tab to review the other players, see how they've done, see where their profit margins are, how they're building their cars, maybe review my financials, and start over in my sales. So I have to, now the customer expectations have gone up. I can charge a slightly higher price, but I have to make sure that I'm beating my profit margin. So if my profit margin is 59, when I do my sales, I got to make sure that I'm getting a profit margin higher than that when I build my next set of cars. And I'm going to have to allocate my, look at the new advertising expectations, figure out my production, see all this extra current inventory. I had a lot of leftover inventory of unsold cars. That's why I had an unexpected deficit, and that's why I didn't perform well in this round, because of these unsold cars, because of my poor forecasting. And that's what happens because I didn't read the student user guide. I didn't look into anything. I just slammed some random numbers in there, and I guess bad results happen when you do that. And then the finance page, of course, next time I put all my numbers in my pro forma calculate, I will want to look at my surplus or deficit very carefully to make sure that I don't run into another deficit again. So I'm not going to fill out year 4 until after you've completed year 4, and then I'll try year 4 and see how that goes. But yeah, moving forward, my advice is to get your profit margins up. So you have to increase your prices, lower your costs, and make sure you increase your profit margins, and also make sure you manage and forecast your sales properly. Now, we've gone over in class financial ratios, so you should be able to interpret these financial ratios here. And we've gone over pro forma financial statements, which you get automatically built for you here, so you should have an idea of what's happening there. And so let's see when the next round is due. Okay, so we just finished round 3, so the next round is due on March 24th. So you have a week off for spring break. So make sure your team completes that by March 23rd. I'm sorry, so the next round is March 23rd, which we have off for spring break. And then when we come back to school, March 23rd is round 4, needs to be completed. So I look here and say that the first, you earn 10 points when you complete, this is a 50-point project. So you earn 10 points when you complete the 6 practice rounds of the simulation, which the due date was the end of February. You get 10 points when your team completes the simulation, including answering all reflective observations. So if you don't answer if you're skipping answering your reflective observations, you could lose 10 points on this assignment just because you didn't do the reflective observations. So be careful of that. And to earn the remaining 30 points, you have to score over 2,600 points, which so far as I can tell, every team would still be eligible to do that. It's still not impossible for any team to make that score as long as they make all the right moves until the end of the simulation. And remember, you don't want to miss any rounds because you will lose 5 points in the project and possibly be deactivated, which I haven't been that mean. I haven't deactivated anybody, but you will lose 5 points if you forget to process a round forward, and I'll have to force you forward. Okay, so there's the quick review of the simulation. And from what I can see, Most of the teams in class are doing very well. They're on target to get the full points for this project, and they are doing very well, and things are point-wise adding up nicely. So I look forward to you completing year 4, and have a nice spring break, and I'll talk to you soon.